The Forgotten Asylum. The sun had long set over the desolate town as Emily nervously stood before the imposing silhouette of the abandoned asylum. She had heard the rumors, the chilling tales whispered among the locals, but her curiosity pushed her forward into the darkness. Armed only with a flickering flashlight, she stepped through the creaking iron gates, venturing into a realm of forgotten souls. The building stood as a decrepit monument to the horrors that had once unfolded within its walls. Its windows shattered, its walls covered in layers of decay. The asylum exuded an eerie aura that seemed to breathe with its own malevolence. Emily's heart pounded in her chest as she entered the desolate hallway, her footsteps echoing ominously in the silence. As she cautiously explored the asylum, she couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Shadows danced on the walls, shifting and contorting into ghastly shapes that seemed to follow her every move. A chilling breeze whispered through the corridor, causing her to shiver involuntarily. The air was thick with an otherworldly presence that clung to her skin like a veil of dread. The further Emily ventured into the asylum, the stronger the sense of unease grew. Strange noises echoed through the corridors, a distant moan, the scraping of metal on stone, and whispers that seemed to taunt her from unseen corners. She tried to shake off the fear, reminding herself that it was all in her head, but the oppressive atmosphere refused to relent. As she entered one of the decaying patient rooms, Emily's flashlight flickered ominously before dying out completely. Panic gripped her as darkness enveloped her surroundings. She fumbled for her phone, desperate for a source of light. With trembling hands, she managed to find the phone's flashlight function and breathed a sigh of relief as a feeble beam cut through the blackness. The feeble light revealed a sight that froze Emily's blood. In the corner of the room, a figure stood, its hunched form silhouetted against the decaying walls. Its features were obscured by darkness, but its presence radiated an undeniable malevolence. Emily's heart raced, her instincts screaming at her to flee, but her legs refused to move. The figure began to approach, each step accompanied by the sound of creaking floorboards. As it drew closer, Emily caught a glimpse of its sunken eyes and twisted grin, a sight that seared itself into her mind. Frozen with terror, she watched as the figure's grotesque form reached out a bony hand toward her, its touch icy and inescapable. Summoning a reserve of strength, Emily finally broke free from the grip of fear and stumbled backward, turning to flee. But the asylum had other plans. The doors that had allowed her entry now stood locked and impassable, trapping her within its nightmarish confines. Panic surged through her veins as she realized she was at the mercy of the asylum's haunting spirits. Whispers filled the air, growing louder and more distorted. The walls seemed to close in around her, squeezing the breath from her lungs. Desperate, Emily tried to reason with the unseen forces, pleading for release, but her cries were met with eerie laughter echoing through the asylum's halls. Days turned into nights, blurring together in a maddening haze of darkness and torment. Emily's mind began to unravel as the asylum consumed her, each passing moment a descent into a personal hell. She became a prisoner of her own fears, forever lost within the sinister labyrinth of the Forgotten Asylum. And to this day, the locals speak of a young woman who vanished into the abandoned building, forever trapped within its haunted walls. A cautionary tale for those who dare to venture too close, a chilling reminder that some places should remain abandoned, forever shrouded in darkness.